Hello, Money Nation. Welcome to our safe space for all things money and to another episode of the Hot Money Talks podcast, your favorite show where we fix your finances, one real conversation at a time. If you're just joining the community for the first time, let me do a literal introduction. My name is Christine Isham, Pepe the Money Mechanic, and I help you fix your finances. I am on a mission to equip African millennials and Gen Zs with adequate financial literacy, advice, and strategy so they can journey to financial freedom and live life purposefully on their own terms and to the fullest, because money is no more a barrier. I want you to live your best life. The Hot Money Talks podcast is a series of honest, open, and transparent money conversations that will guide you on your journey to financial freedom. Here on the podcast, we believe 100% that financial freedom is possible with the right set of knowledge, the right amount of time, and the right circle of people. Thank you for being here. Now, in our last episode, we learned about how women can blossom in their finances. And today we're going to be talking about something powerful that most people don't even realize affects their financial life. We're going to be talking about your Reticular Activating System, also known as the RAS. Now, I know that sounds like neuroscience, and actually it is, but I promise you that this episode is going to blow your mind. Because when you understand how your brain's RAS works, you'll understand why some people seem to attract financial opportunities while others can't seem to catch a break. So let's get into it. Now, the reason I thought about doing this episode, was because I was listening to a particular podcast yesterday or so, yes. And, it was, very interesting to hear the speaker actually talk about RAS. And I thought, why not? Why not do some research to find out how this affects our financial growth and our financial life? So let's get into it. Now, the Reticular Activating System, also known as RAS, which I'll be using for most of the episode, right, is a small network of neurons in your brainstem. Now, think of it like your brain's gatekeeper or your brain's filter. Every second, your brain receives millions of bits of information in form of sounds, visuals, notifications, social media posts, ads, conversations, and then your RAS decides which ones you pay attention to. Now, let me give you an example. Now, have you ever bought a new car or new shoes or a new gadget, and then suddenly you start seeing that same car or shoe or gadget everywhere? Now, it's not that everyone suddenly copied you and went to buy it. It's your RAS at work. Your brain now recognizes that particular item as important, so it starts highlighting it everywhere. Now, the same thing happens with opportunities, with relationships, with money, and even ideas. Your RAS is constantly scanning for whatever you've told it matters. Now, let's look at the connection between RAS and your financial journey. Now, your RAS doesn't know the difference between what is good or bad for you. It only knows what is familiar, right? Or what you focus on repeatedly. So, let's speak in terms of our finances now. If your mind is constantly focused on scarcity and you have a mindset, that keeps saying money is hard to make, I can never save, the economy is bad, rich people are greedy, do you know what your RAS will do? It will filter the world in a way that keeps proving those beliefs right. So essentially, you'd start seeing the world that way. And everywhere you turn, you'll be seeing proof. You just keep seeing things that prove these beliefs. But you know what? When you start filling your mind with new money beliefs, when you start thinking things like, I attract opportunities, I'm learning how to manage my money wisely, or there are multiple ways to earn income, your RAS starts picking up evidence to support that. Amazing, right? All right, so let me give you an example. I once coached a client who constantly said, I don't make enough to save, right? But after we reprogrammed this client's mindset, to start thinking in terms of, instead of saying I don't have enough or I don't make enough to save, I'm actually learning to manage what I earn, right? These clients started noticing small spending leaks that they had never seen before. And before you know it, in a short period of time, the client was able to save much more than they had ever saved before. And you know what? With the same earnings as they had before. Now, this is not magic. That is your RAS filtering for new possibilities. Now, I'm all about strategy, right? And taking action. So I'm going to be sharing with us 5 practical ways, right, by which you can activate your RAS for financial growth. Now, the first practical way is to get specific about what you want. Now, your RAS does not respond to vagueness. So when you say things like, oh, my goal this year is to be rich. No, your RAS does not respond to that. Remember, it's a filter, right? So you have to be specific. You have to be able to set goals that are clear. Now, if you set a goal and say, okay, I want to have 1 million naira in savings by, let's say, December 2025, right? Now, your brain now knows what to filter for. So what does it start to do? It starts noticing opportunities. Maybe a new freelance gig, a new side hustle, a cheaper expense, That's when you now start to see, investment seminars that you can attend that will benefit you. Or you start even meeting people that can help you reach your goal in some way. So the first thing is write your goals down and write them clearly. The more detailed, the better. Do you understand? The more detailed, the better. I like to say that your financial goals are not financial goals if they don't have a figure to it. So, I want to buy a car. Okay, that is not specific. What kind of car do you want to buy? What is the price range of the car? Be specific about your goals. We all know the SMART method of setting goals now. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound. Make sure that whatever goals you are setting are SMART in nature. Now, the second practical way is to surround yourself with financial growth content. Now, remember that your RAS is a filter, right? So, your RAS is constantly scanning what you consume. So, if all you watch and read are shows about gossip, fear, luxury lifestyles without context, right? You know what's going to get prioritized. You already know. I don't need to tell you. Exactly. But imagine you start following finance podcasts like the Hot Money Talks podcast, investment news, personal finance creators. And there are so many amazing personal finance creators on the internet. Imagine that you immerse yourself in wealth building communities. Your brain will automatically start scanning your world for financial patterns. That's why people who immerse themselves in financial literacy suddenly start noticing opportunities that were actually always there. They start partaking in saving challenges. They start learning about investments. You now see them developing solid business ideas and executing. So the point is, your focus creates your awareness. I didn't just wake up as a money mechanic. It started from me wanting to just fix my finances and get out of debt. And then I started to consume a whole lot of wholesome financial content. I started to study on my own. I started to, put myself out there to learn. I spent money getting better as well. I got, coaching, even for my life in general. All of these things put together have contributed to my growth as a person and the growth of my finances as well. Now, the third practical way, right, is to use visual reminders and affirmations. Now, the RAS is visual. It loves images and repetition. So that's why things like vision boards, affirmations, journaling, they're powerful tools. So if you write daily affirmations like I am financially disciplined, I invest in my future, I attract profitable opportunities, you're not just engaging in wishful thinking, you're programming your RAS to actually highlight actions and information that align with those beliefs. Do you understand? So it is very important for you to be intentional about what you visualize, about what you see, about what you say to yourself. It plays a huge role in programming your RAS. Fourth practical tip is to change the way you talk about money. Yes. Oh my God. Your words, they shape your focus. They shape your life. So every time you say, I'm broke, you reinforce scarcity. Instead, why not say things like, I'm currently prioritizing other things, or I'm in a rebuilding phase. You're not lying. You're actually just shifting your frame to focus on what is most important. When you say things like, how can I afford this, instead of I can't afford this, your RAS starts to scan for solutions instead of dead ends. So, simply asking the right questions, like how can I afford this, moves your brain from being helpless to actually becoming a creative problem solver. So what are the things you say about your financial life? They really, really impact your physical life. Yes, they impact it a whole lot. That's why I believe that wealthy people don't make excuses. They take action. Because the more you make excuses, the more you blame other people for your lack of financial success, you will never take responsibility. You will just stay in the place of blame. And I can promise you, you'll die a poor man or a poor woman. Finally, the last tip is to track your progress and celebrate your wins. Yes, when all is said and done, don't neglect this part. Now, your RAS gets strengthened through feedback. So when you track your expenses, you monitor your savings, and you celebrate small wins, right? Your brain begins to associate money management with progress instead of stress. So that's how financial habits actually stick. So for example, if you successfully save 5,000 naira in the coming week, celebrate it. Do something little. Now, this does not include carrying the whole 5,000 naira to go and spend on a celebration. No, just do something that reinforces the fact that, oh my God, I just hit a goal. Now, that small celebration will tell your RAS that this is good. Give me more of this. Do more of this. And over time, you will see that this becomes your new normal. Now, I'm sure that in all of this, there are strong signs of what you often hear people call manifestation, right? And this manifestation thing, right? There's the science to it, and that is where the RAS comes in. Now, your RAS is your brain search engine. So whatever you consistently think, say, and visualize, your RAS will go out and find supporting evidence. So if you keep saying, I'm surrounded by opportunities, your brain literally starts noticing opportunities that were always around you, but were hidden behind your previous mental filter. Wealth starts in your mind long before it shows up in your accounts. I want you to write that down. I'm going to repeat it again. Wealth starts in your mind long before it shows up in your accounts. I paused because I wanted that to sink in. What are you telling yourself? What are you listening to? What are you visualizing? It affects your financial growth a great deal. All right, so let's wrap this up, Money Nation. Your Reticular Activating System, also known as RAS, is proof that your financial growth isn't just about how much you earn. It's about what you focus on. You can't attract what your brain is blind to. And the RAS is how you open your eyes. So this week, what do I challenge you to do? Write down one clear financial goal. Remember, your goal should be smart in nature. Number 2, say one new positive money affirmation every morning. Now, I actually have compiled a set of positive money affirmations on my YouTube channel. I'm going to be inserting the link in the show notes. So do well to, go listen to it, and you could make it a daily habit for yourself. 3rd, follow at least one platform or creator who helps you think wealth. And of course, I will recommend that you follow the Money Mechanic. Now, do this for 21 days and watch how your awareness and your bank account starts to shift. So instead of waiting for opportunities to come, the idea is to train your brain. Wire your brain to actually see them. All right. Today's episode has been an interesting one, right? All right. I hope you enjoyed listening to it as much as I enjoyed recording it. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me a review, and most importantly, share this episode with your squad. Have you got any burning questions that you'd like me to answer on the podcast? Feel free to shoot me an email via talktothemoneymechanic@gmail.com and let me know your dilemma. New episodes of the Hot Money Talks podcast drop every Saturday, and you can listen to them on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. Recommendations are powerful, so please tell your friends and family about this podcast so we can go on this journey together. To connect with me on other platforms, do well to follow The Money Mechanic at The Money Mechanic page on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Wealthy people are action takers. So will you take action on your finances today? Until next time, I'm sending you lots of love, light, and a sprinkle of money in between.